Everyone see it's on live now?
Yep. Okay, I think we're live. So welcome everyone to our first official NMEA Hangout on Air. We're very excited to have a 3-state hookup here between our lovely friends at the National Aquarium in Baltimore and Shawns Russell. Shawns Russell, who's joining us actually from Tennessee, and I'm down here in Florida. So today we want to give you a sneak peek into what it's like to be a member of NMEA, but specifically from the perspective of students and emerging professionals. This is really exciting for us because we feel that there are so many opportunities to get involved and get engaged and really make connections that you wouldn't make if you didn't have conversations and opportunities through the National Marine Educators Association. And we are all living proof of that. So as you hear our stories over the next few minutes, I think you'll be able to get a better look into some of the opportunities that we can offer. So with that, I'm going to remind you that we have a hashtag, which is Catch the Current. And if you have questions throughout this 30-minute hangout that you want to send to us and have us answer, please do that. You can tweet at us, post on our Facebook page, or send it over Google+, and we will be monitoring all of those accounts. So Shawn, I'm going to start with you because you have quite a great story of how you first got engaged with National Marine Educators Association and the way it's helped you both professionally and personally. So the first question I'm going to ask you is just when did you first become aware of NMEA?
Yeah, thanks so much, Julie. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I actually first learned about NMEA through my high school internship at Mote Marine Laboratory in Sarasota, Florida. At the time, a lot of the Mote education staff that I worked closely with were members of NMEA, had been part of NMEA, and it always kind of came up in conversations and was something that sounded really interesting to me as a young student in high school at the time who was exploring career options and looking into the possibility of a career in marine science education.
And then why did you decide to join NMEA specifically?
Yeah, absolutely. So throughout my time in high school and also during college, I was involved with a number of conservation initiatives, one being the Stow It, Don't Throw It project, which is an organization I started to engage students in fishing line recycling and marine debris prevention projects, and also the Youth Ocean Conservation Summit program that you'll hear a little bit more about later. And as I began to really increase my involvement in those projects, I had the chance to meet and work with a lot of different marine science educators from aquariums, K-12 schools, colleges, universities, as well as students interested in the field. And they really all encouraged me to join NMEA as an opportunity to farther share my personal conservation work with a broader national audience, and also to have the opportunity to get mentored by and gain support from professionals in the field of marine science education, especially as I look toward college and future career plans as well.
And Shawn, you are a living example of what we talk about all the time with any membership organization, actually with any organization you pay a membership to. It could be a gym, it could be a professional organization. If you don't use it, it's not going to be of any benefit for you. And you jumped in feet first and really got involved. So tell us about your involvement in NMEA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as you heard, I kind of knew about the organization for a while growing up through high school, and then was able to actually join as a college student last year in 2013 as a formal member. And I had the opportunity to participate in my first NMEA conference last summer, which was just an incredible experience for me to get to meet and network with and learn from marine science educators and conservationists from across the U.S. and internationally as well. And then through NMEA, especially through the online communication channels that NMEA has, their email listserv, social media platforms, I've had a really fantastic avenue to share my personal conservation work to engage young people on ocean conservation projects with a really broad audience. So that's been a huge benefit to me and my work, and just a great opportunity to network with others in the field of marine science education. And then currently I'm excited to be also part of NMEA's strategic planning process, which is currently underway. And through that, I'm really looking forward to, just like we are today, sharing the opportunity to join NMEA with specifically students and recent graduates and emerging professionals.
And you know, said about you're involved with NMEA strategic planning process. You've been involved with so many youth-led and other types of organizations at the national level who are looking to get a youth perspective and engagement. How would you compare those experiences of what you want to bring to NMEA?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, my personal background, like I mentioned, comes from, personally being involved in a lot of youth organizations. I grew up in 4-H, grew up going to just summer camps at places like National Aquarium in Sarasota. And those experiences really led me to, at an early age, want to become involved more in conservation work and also, take an active role engaging my peers in conservation work and teaching them about marine science and marine environments as well. And so those experiences led to, like you mentioned, my other work with youth organizations, and that's something I've seen, on a national level. There's a huge there's a huge push to engage young people, whether it be in conservation programs or just leadership roles in nonprofit organizations, government agencies, corporations, because young people bring very innovative ideas. They bring a passion, enthusiasm to the table that's really valuable, especially from my perspective, the marine conservation world. And it's also important, I think, for NMEA to look toward the next, marine science educators and instructors and work to not only engage them in the future in careers, but also right now in teaching their peers about the importance of marine environments and marine conservation.
It's very exciting, and I can speak from our perspective that we're really happy to have your leadership from the inside of our organization. And looking externally, if you were asked to describe NMEA in just a few words or a few short snippets to somebody who was not familiar with our organization, and maybe somebody who wasn't even involved with the field of marine science education, but they really wanted to know what we're about, how would you do it?
Yeah, I mean, I would describe NMEA as a professional organization that provides fantastic resources, connectivity, and opportunities for collaboration. I know I alluded to that a few minutes ago. But really that's been a key for me, is that opportunity to share and collaborate with others in the field. And just general support for students and professionals who are working to teach others about both marine and aquatic science and conservation.
Great. And since you are technically now, you're not a student anymore, you've slid over to our emerging professional category, which is our new reach into people who are in the first 3 years of your career. So it could be someone like you who's a college grad and is a new professional. It could be someone who's 50 years old and is switching from chiropractor into marine science education. It's still an emerging professional in our arena. So you have about 3 years with us to kind of try us out in this role. What do you hope to accomplish in those 3 years?
Yeah, well, one of the things I definitely hope to accomplish is to build on the work that I've already started with NMEA and using this incredible organization as a network to share my personal work to engage young people as leaders in the field of ocean conservation. That's why I'm really thrilled to be working with the National Aquarium students, who you'll hear from in a moment, and also from with NMEA as a whole on our first Satellite Youth Ocean Conservation Summit that, again, you'll hear about in a few minutes. And then kind of along the same lines, continue to use this platform to share opportunities with both educators and students across the country and on an international scale to get them engaged in learning about marine science, and then also get them involved in conservation work as well. And then just personally, as you kind of mentioned as well, I hope to continue to network with professionals in the field of marine science education and learn from them as I continue my plans with grad school and future career opportunities down the road as well.
Great. So tell us about this fantastic project, which is the Youth Ocean Conservation Summit. How did it even start? What was the origin of it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mentioned just briefly a few minutes ago that one of the programs that I started in high school is called the Stow It, Don't Throw It project, and it works to engage students in marine debris prevention programs. And really, after working on that program for a couple of years, it was really just the enthusiasm, the energy of the young people that I had the chance to work with, who were very empowered by that project, that led me to want to create a program to teach other young people how to launch their own ocean conservation projects, to tackle ocean conservation issues in their local communities. So this could be anything from wildlife conservation, habitat restoration, cleanup programs, whatever they might be passionate about. And so I went back at the time to the staff that I've been working with at Marine Laboratory for a number of years and shared this idea with them, and they were a huge supporter of it and allowed us to team up with them to launch this program. And the goal is we bring in about 200 youth and adults every year from across Florida and across the country. Let them hear from scientists and conservationists about current threats to marine ecosystems, let them hear from other students who are already working on conservation projects, and then walk them through a process, an action planning process, where they work with mentors from local conservation groups and their peers to identify those issues in marine conservation they're passionate about, and build a project around those issues to help address those challenges in their community. And then the remainder of the event's designed to allow them to take part in workshops and in sessions to give them the skills to make those projects successful. So we have workshops on fundraising, grant writing, marketing their projects, and a variety of other topics as well. And then we work to keep those students supported throughout the year through our Youth Ocean Conservation Team Network, and provide resources and mini grants and updates and opportunities for them to share their work to continue that success throughout the year.
And so the first summit was 2011?
Yes. And then we just had our third summit last November of 2013.
Okay. So it must have been 2012, which is where all this serendipity happens. And early 2012, one of our great friends, Nancy Hotchkiss from National Aquarium, Baltimore, coincidentally was applying for a grant and was looking at how she could further empower the youth involved in their programs and wanted to create some sort of an opportunity for youth to learn more about the ocean education and ocean conservation realm, but have it an event that was created by youth for youth. And she was looking around on the internet, happened to find Shawns' program, gave me a call, knew that I was connected in, and said, what do you think? I don't want to recreate the wheel. If someone's already got a proven model that works, how about I send a bunch of our students down to your summit and we can collaborate and share and network, which I think is a fantastic story about how to take an idea that's been pilot tested and then grow it around the country. So that's really where the connections happen, right, Shawn? I sent Nancy to you, and you pick it up from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, that was another, fantastic connection. And I know we've been focusing a lot on this, but that theme of interconnectivity that both NMEA provides and this event that we're talking about now provides is just really exciting. And so, yeah, back in 2012, I connected with Nancy at the National Aquarium, and then had the opportunity to have the wonderful students that you're going to hear from in just a moment from the National Aquarium come down and join us for our 2012 Youth Ocean Conservation Summit event, and through that work on their own conservation projects. But then also we really had that idea in the back of our heads always of how could we best model this program and take it to other regions, and share this opportunity with other students across the country. And so we came up with the idea last year to start launching satellite youth ocean conservation summits that are again student driven, that are conservation focused throughout, and that are very action oriented and inspire students to go out and take conservation action in their community. And so obviously the natural fit was to team up with the students you're about to hear from at the National Aquarium and work with them to launch the first of these events that they're going to get to tell you a little bit more about. And so with that, if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourself, I'm going to go through a couple questions with you about the Youth Ocean Conservation Summit and your plans for the summer. So if you want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is Asia. I'm a third-year student in the Aquarium on Wheels program here at the National Aquarium in Baltimore, and I am the director of our Youth Summit.
My name is Kenesha. This is my second year in the program.
My name is Daquan Abrams. This is my third year in the program.
Hello, my name is Ashley Balshan. This is my second year as well.
My name is Madero, and I'm actually the supervisor of these guys, so you'll hear more about all the good stuff they've been doing.
Perfect. Well, to get things started, love for you guys to tell me just a little bit about that first experience that I just mentioned when you guys came down to our Youth Ocean Conservation Summit at Mote Marine Laboratory in 2012, and just share briefly about your experiences there.
Well, I actually did not attend the one in 2012, but I attended the one this past November. And as far as my experience, I thought that it was really great. I enjoyed the workshops. I thought they were really interactive and they really taught me something. So I really loved that aspect of it. Some of my favorites were the public service announcements and the art to conservation. Those are two of the main workshops that really probably got to me and I actually enjoyed. Also, I kind of liked the setup of the action plan because that's how we came up with our idea to make the summit this year. So I really enjoyed it.
Perfect. And you guys can see just with another example. I know I mentioned some of the workshops that we've done. So again, we really try to reach out to the students and give them a lot of opportunities to find creative ways to share those ocean conservation messages. So whether it's using art to communicate those messages or filming public service announcements, anything they can do to share those projects out with the community. So guys, when you first left that summit, what were you What were you inspired to do for ocean conservation, just in general, back in your local community?
Well, when I first left the summit in 2012, it was just like I seen more people more into it, so I felt the need that I had to reach out and explain, and show everybody that it's not just, certain people doing it. It's like a group of people coming together and doing it. And that's when I came up with our logo for Accreditation Wheels, which it motivated me. So, pretty much.
That's awesome. And I know one of the things that we hear from a lot of students and adults too is it's one of the exciting things, and this goes back to what we talked about too with NMEA and these events as a whole, that kind of connectivity piece. I know for me it's always exciting to meet other students who are passionate about ocean conservation and other adults and educators as well. So that's always a great part of events like this. And so if you guys want to talk a little bit more about your role with the National Aquarium and in the Aquarium on Wheels program, and then also how important their support's been as you work to create this first Youth Ocean Conservation Summit in Annapolis this summer.
So here in the Aquarium on Wheels program, there's about 20 high school students, and what we do throughout the year, we do a lot of lab research, we take a lot of field trips, and throughout the summer, we perform plays for children at various libraries, and our plays get across some type of environmental message. And for the past 2 years, we've gone to the Youth Ocean Conservation Summit in Florida, and for the past few months now, we've been working on our summit that's going to be held in Annapolis in mid-July. We plan on having 4 workshops as well, including things like branding and public speaking and marketing, and we're also going to have an action planning workshop, and we are going to give away small seed grants to certain teams, and we still have quite a ways to go, but everything is coming together, and we're really excited. We have about a 50-person capacity, so we're really looking to have a great audience.
Perfect. And I would just say too, to add on to that, you guys have done an awesome job with, again, taking everything that we've started down in Sarasota and bringing it up to Maryland. So we're just couldn't be more excited to be working with you on that. And again, kind of on the same note with this whole program, just why do you guys think it's important to engage young people in ocean conservation projects?
It is important to engage young people in the ocean conservation because we are the future. This is the type of environmental and stuff that our students need to see. Our action planning center that will be at the summit will be teaching the youth we'll be teaching the youth as a whole the idea that they can give back to their community. Their community can benefit from that action plan, and this is our world, this is our ocean, this is for us to protect.
That's awesome. I think that theme of taking ownership of it, especially at a young age, of ocean conservation is so awesome. So it's exciting to see that being incorporated into your event. And so finally, kind of on that similar note, if you guys want to add just any last thoughts, what do you hope to achieve and to see come out of this first summit that you're running this summer?
Well, probably the most important thing is that we want to do this long term. There's no purpose in trying to do it once and never doing it again. So because we're sure that it is going to be a successful summit, we want to do it just as long as you plan on doing it, Shawn. Also, we hope to sort of inspire other programs like Accreditation Wheels across the country to hold youth summits in partnership with your summit as well. And we also hope that we inspire students to get more involved with the aquarium here and do more outreach for the students that we've reached through the summit.
That's awesome, and I'll give a plug for you guys too. So I know you mentioned the capacity. You guys have about a 50-person capacity for the summit this summer, and so I know if we can't get it up on the screen, we'll send out a tweet for everyone following along with #CatchTheCurrent. But we'll send out a link, so if people are interested in that Annapolis, Baltimore, Maryland area and want to come, the students want to join that event, they have the application is up and online, and people can apply through June 2nd to sign up for that event. And again, I personally can't thank you guys enough for all of your hard work on this event. And again, we're really excited to be not only teaming up with you, but looking and working to expand this program, like you mentioned, to other regions across the country as well. So can't thank you guys enough, and really appreciate all of your help.
Thank you.
Julie?
So one of the really cool things about this summer is I love that your event, the summit that you all are running, is going to be held in conjunction with our annual conference. Because truthfully, we're going to get invigorated from you and hopefully share ideas back and forth. And that leads me to a question that we just got in through Twitter. And I'd like to have both Shawn and some of the youth from the Baltimore Aquarium answer this. But the question is, what sort of resources and support do young activists, so from a student point of view, need most from more seasoned professionals? So in Baltimore, do one of you want to take that? What sort of resources and support do you need from more seasoned professionals in NMEA and beyond?
I believe that one of the greatest resources that are missing is probably the financial aspect of things, because like even Shawn has probably seen this before, where meeting so many young people that have these great ideas and they probably do know how exactly they want to do everything, but they don't know about grants. They don't know how to reach out to people to ask them for funding, or they don't know how to do a fundraiser. So we have all of these great ideas out here, but they don't have the financial support to go through with their plans. So I think that's one of the most important things that young people don't have.
Asia, is that a workshop that you're going to be running at your summit this summer?
So yes, we do have a workshop geared towards fundraising, and part of our action planning workshop is going to also focus on the financial aspect of creating a conservation plan.
That's awesome. That's definitely a skill that is necessary. We're always learning that. So I'm glad that you all are starting that with this summit this summer. And Shawn, from your perspective as an emerging professional, what kind of support and resources do you need?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things outside of general mentorship and support, just on a kind of broader scale, whether it be for students in career paths, whether it be for students like we're talking about here with conservation projects. I know for me personally, growing up starting with the staff I work with in 4-H and marine laboratory, and later aquariums and nonprofits and organizations now across the country that I've had the privilege of working with, just being able to learn from their staff who are take the time to share ideas and opportunities with me has been extremely beneficial. And then I'll also say, with respect to kind of youth leadership as a whole, I think one of the most important things that professionals can do to support young people is ensure they have opportunities to take on leadership roles at an early age. We can't really wait, I think, anymore and say, young people are just the leaders of the future. We need to really talk about how young people can take on conservation issues right now, today, whether they're 5 years old or 18 years old, whatever that might look like. And so that's been exciting for me through our Youth Ocean Conservation Summit to get to interact with kids, as young as 5 years old who are doing awesome conservation projects and see them grow up with that as second nature. And I'll add one more point to that is having the support from staff like MODE and NMEA and the National Aquarium, and having the staff believe in the programs that young people are bringing to them and support those has been really exciting. And so I know, just as an example with the National Aquarium, having people like Maria and their staff jump on this idea of letting their students run a summit and really have that leadership role is really important. So just giving young people that opportunity to step up into leadership roles, and I know that it's just exciting and incredible to see what they do.
I think that's a great point. Yeah. So thank you. And Shawn, we have a question for you from Twitter. What is your favorite conservation project that has come out of any of the summits that you've run?
That's a hard one. I wouldn't want to put any specific project on the spot, but I will say that it's I think the most exciting thing for me with this event is I kind of grew up with my own projects looking at marine debris prevention and kind of that niche, and then when we started the summit, it became a really exciting tool and opportunity to reach and hit a lot of different areas of marine conservation by working with students. So our message was empowering young people, that they were able to go out and take on a lot of different challenges. So I'll give you some examples just from the past couple of years. We've had students partner up with local government agencies to do mangrove plantings in Pine Island Sound in South Florida. We've had students do advocacy presentations in schools about shark and turtle conservation. We've had students working with making films and PSAs to raise awareness about ocean conservation and get those out on the internet, on YouTube, and in film festivals. And we've also, again, worked on just a variety of wildlife conservation projects, recycling programs, and also that theme of marine debris prevention has also been, a popular one for students to take on as well. And so, not any, I guess, favorite project specifically for me, but I would say that my favorite part of it is seeing how we've been able to empower young people to take on just such a diverse array of environmental issues.
Great. And how about at the aquarium? When you all get the students together at your summit, is there any project that you hope that they take on, or any action plan that you're really hoping that someone will get inspired by in your area?
Well, I would say one thing I'm probably looking for the most is I feel like as far as environmental programs in schools, I feel like there's a huge need for that. Like I know a lot of young people want to do things directly for the community, but I feel like especially in Baltimore City, there's a huge need for like environmental clubs inside of middle schools and high schools. So I think that it would be really great if a lot of students wanted to do things directly for their schools, like start a recycling system in their school and paint storm drains around their school instead of just trying to branch out into the larger area.
To elaborate on to what she was saying, I would love to see the whole little recycling thing happen within the household, like more of the family, the household members and stuff starting to get involved.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, is there anything else that you all want to tell us from the aquarium about your summit, or anything else you're excited about in the last couple of minutes of our hangout here? I know I'm putting you on the spot.
So pretty much what I think of is we as a whole, we just want the youth like us, like with the Shawns Conservation Summit, we want them to go home with the same attitude we came home with. We want them to go home with ideas that we came home with. Like we just want them to get the whole grasp. It's not just about, going other stuff. You can actually do stuff to help.
Great. Well, I can speak from my personal opinion too. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm always inspired and excited to reinvigorate my own work leading the summit. So Sean's done a great job in his summits. I can only imagine how awesome the four of you and your team at the aquarium are going to do under Maria's leadership, and the rest of the engaged staff and volunteers are all going to be working so hard. So I really I'm excited for you, congratulate you on the work that you've done so far, and I can't wait to see all these applications rolling in the last 2 weeks after this hangout. And Sean, do you have any last bits of advice or wisdom, and specifically how, since we're in the middle of a membership drive, how tying this all back to the opportunities in NMEA that you want to give us?
Yeah, absolutely. So I know, something that we've talked about throughout the hangout so far is just the importance of young people having the opportunities and the desire to step up and take on leadership roles with respect to learning about marine environments and taking on ocean conservation projects. And I think that for students who have that interest, or gain that interest from participating in events like the Youth Ocean Conservation Summit, should really look at NMEA as an opportunity to join, at an early age as that student member or that emerging professional. And just briefly, as I kind of mentioned earlier, I would say it's a great opportunity to gain access to internships, job opportunities to farther explore the fields of marine science, education, and conservation. As you heard kind of from me personally, an amazing network to share personal conservation projects and initiatives that you're working on as an individual or with your classmates. And finally, that chance, as you've been hearing throughout, the chance to network with and connect with other like-minded individuals, your peers, and also professionals who can help mentor you and support you throughout your work. So just highly encourage students to take advantage of that opportunity and really not just join and sign up, but really join and make the most of it. Take advantage of the networking and collaboration opportunities that it provides.
So thank you for that key point again, Sean, about being actively involved. And I just want to close by explaining that our membership drive is underway until World Oceans Day, which is June 8th. And if you choose to join as an NMEA member, the student rate is $25 a year, and the emerging professional rate is $35 a year. And we have very exciting raffle prizes, including a GoPro camera that I'm sure would be awesome to take on any field expeditions. This baby is waterproof. So that is something that our wonderful sponsors have helped us out with to encourage you to join and take advantage and test the waters, if you will, with NMEA. I had to throw that in. So thank you all for your time, your dedication to ocean conservation, for leading the way to get youth involved, because you're so integral in that entire process. And we look forward to what's going to happen this summer. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.